Hello, this is your host Layla, and this is another episode of the Black Opal Series, where we, just like the gemstone, learn how to use our magical abilities, how to spiritually and energetically protect ourselves, and ultimately we delve deep together into the mysteries and the secrets of the universe. If you guys have been following me on Spotify, you would know that we have been working on the Hermetic principles and the laws of the universe. So if you are hearing this on YouTube, make sure you guys, of course, like, subscribe, and share. But I am not posting all of the episodes of the podcast on YouTube. Make sure you check it out on Spotify. And you'll be able to get access to all these episodes, and we really delve deep in everything. So make sure you guys stay tuned and check that out. And of course, if you're hearing this on Spotify, make sure you give it a like and comment if you can. Thank you for sharing and just being active with this podcast. So anyway, we'll get right back into it. So as I mentioned before, we've been learning about the 7 Hermetic principles, and the one we're going over today is the law of vibration. The law of vibration is very interesting, in my opinion, when it comes to how energy and everything works in spirituality. All of the laws are profound when it comes down to the craft or practicing spirituality, anything, metaphysical. They are all relevant. But for me, this one I feel really hits home when we talk about how we work with energy, move energy, deal with energy. Okay. And so with that being said, we're going to get right into it. So the law of vibration is just this simple. Everything in the universe vibrates at its own frequency, and that attracts to us the reality we experience. I may have mentioned this in prior episodes that my reality and the way I perceive the world is going to be different than your reality and the way you perceive the world. We all are experiencing the universe in our own specific way. That's why every practitioner has their own specific way that they practice. What works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. But there is an element of truth to it all, which is that we are experiencing something. We are all here experiencing something. So with the law of vibration, I want to take it all the way back to chemistry and physics class, middle school maybe, for some of you guys, Bill Nye, the science guy. Okay, we're going to take it back some. And I want to go over how energy is made, or where energy comes from, because in order to manipulate it and use it to manifest and do great things in your life, you need to actually know the basics, the building blocks. So to start, as you may have heard, or if you don't already know, everything in this universe consists of 2 things. It's either going to be matter or energy. Everything in this universe is made of matter or energy. So matter is the trees outside, the television in your room, your pets. Every object in this universe is matter. The walls of your home itself, everything is matter. And the building blocks of matter, at the core of matter, you have atoms and molecules. And within an atom, like say you were to split an item all the way down, like a piece of cake, right? You could split it, keep cutting until you can't cut anymore, and you just go as small as you can. That tiny little crumb itself still consists of atoms and molecules. And if you look at the center of an atom, which an atom means unable to be divided, meaning you cannot get any smaller than an atom. When you look at that, you will find that it has a nucleus. And within that nucleus, it has neutrons and protons. Depending on the amount of protons, within that atom, the nucleus changes the makeup of the molecule. So this is why we have different types of metals, right? We have silver, brass, gold, copper, aluminum. We have all these different kind of metals. They're all metals, but they all have different molecular makeups. And that's because the number of protons in each of those nucleuses is different. And thus, this is how you have a periodic table that breaks it down, explains all the different type and how many and whatever it is, right? But let's just stay there for a second. So, the protons in that nucleus, as I said, there's protons and neutrons, and they vibrate at a certain frequency. And depending on the frequency at which they're vibrating, as I mentioned, that matter may appear different. Everything that we are visualizing and seeing looks the way it looks because of the matter at which it was created, right? How it was put together. So understanding that at the core of every object, there are protons and neutrons vibrating in tandem to create whatever it is, that goes to show you and goes to tell us that everything, even inanimate objects, are moving at a certain frequency. Like if you were to look at this stuff under a microscope, they literally just look like they're vibrating. The atoms and the nucleus, everything just looks like it's twitching. And knowing that everything vibrates or moves at its own frequency, that goes to show you that everything contains energy. Now, there is a difference, because you guys are probably like, well, an inanimate object that's not breathing, like my TV, right? How is that able to create energy? You know, I have to plug it in just for it to work. But here's the thing. Any object, any bit of matter can create energy, even if it doesn't move naturally, right? Just like your TV, you plug it in, it can reflect the energy or whatever it is being put into it to give you a picture, right? There is a difference between an inanimate object and a living object, right? A living object or a living object or a organic compound, right, is capable of growing. Okay? That's really what it comes down to. A organic compound or a living being, creature, whatever it is capable of growing, like your trees, your grass, your plants, animals, us, right? And then inorganic compounds are just the most basic of they're the most basic on the molecular level, and those are your inanimate objects. But what's true about each is they both are capable of holding energy, and they're also capable of transmuting that energy and transferring it. So what does this mean to spirituality? Well, understanding everything vibrates at its own frequency helps us better understand the term, don't kill my vibe, or I'm vibing right now. I'm just trying to vibe I'm trying to vibe at a high frequency. I'm trying to raise my vibration. And how do people raise their vibration? They use stones, they use herbs, they use sometimes what appears to be an inanimate object to assist, right? This is where your tools come in when it comes to spirituality. This is where your tools come in. your tarot cards, your wands, your healing stones, your salt, your everything that you use to raise your vibration or to cleanse your house and raise the vibration of your home, whatever have you, comes from these tools. And they're able to transmute and transfer that energy that they hold to you. And you are able to transfer your energy to them. And I'm going to go into another episode one day. We'll go over possessed items and we'll go over, using tools and divination and all that. But for now, we'll stick with what we're talking about. The law of vibration. So what ends up happening is when we use these tools, we're harnessing their energy. Now that we understand how energy is made up or where it comes from or how it works with all the vibration and the way it works, okay? Now that we understand that, let's get to the next point. Energy itself. So there are 3 different types of energy that I can think of off of the top of my head. There is kinetic energy, which is energy in motion. There is potential energy, which is energy at rest. And then there's electromagnetic energy, which is energy that is electrified. That's your electricity. All right? All energy can be converted. Okay? And I want you guys to sit on that. All energy can be converted. And everything I'm telling you, you could Google it. You could look up some videos from middle school, whatever. Everything I'm telling you, this is scientifically true. All energy can be converted. When you store that energy, okay, so let's just go back to storing energy. And I'll give you an example. When you store energy, for example, putting vinegar in a bottle with baking soda, okay, and then corking that bottle, you are taking different types of matter, putting it together to create an energetic buildup. You are creating an energetic buildup. Now, as you guys know, it's not going to be immediately that the pressure from the built up gases between the baking soda and the vinegar are going to, it's not just going to be over, the course of seconds. It takes time for that energetic buildup, for that pressure to build up. As that pressure is just sitting, or that energy is just sitting in that bottle, building up its pressure, okay, it is potential energy. Now, when that energy is built up to the point that it is able to shoot that cork off the top of that bottle and send it flying into the air, that potential energy has now been converted to kinetic energy, energy in motion. And that's a theme energy in motion. Now, this applies to us as energetic beings, right? When we do not tap into, and we're going to step away from metaphysical for a second so I could just let you chew on this for a minute. When we do not tap into our energy, when we do not tap into our potential, we are unable to get a result because we're not putting anything in motion. If we do not get up to go to work, we're not getting paid. If we do not try to create, say you're a creator, like you're an artist. If you don't use your gift of creating, no one will ever see your art. It is so profound when you tap into your potential energy and see the result of your work and your effort and what you put forward. And that is something that when you are coming into spirituality, you have to learn how to do. Using mentalism and the law of correspondence, as above, so below. You can hear about this, you can read about, you can listen to it on podcasts. But until you put it in motion, It's just potential energy sitting. And say, using the example of an artist, say you have this beautiful ability to create and you never use that potential energy. Well, the result is the art is never created. And therefore, you are depriving someone or something of that gift because you're not using it. You're not tapping into the potential. You're just leaving it there, right? And no one else can create what you can create. There's thousands of artists. People could replicate things, but no one can create exactly what you created. Nobody can put that same energy out there. Nobody can put that same effort out there. Those things simply just don't happen. So it's the same when it comes to spirituality. When you come onto your path and you're first starting to learn, you're meditating, you're getting it together, right? That is potential energy that's untapped. Some people have more energetic pull than others. Everyone is capable of tapping into that energy. That's your potential. When you put that energy in motion, when you start to practice energetic work, whether you're a healer, whether you are a conjurer, whether you are a practitioner, whatever you identify with, when you put that energy in motion, you are putting yourself to work. Just the same as getting up out of bed because your alarm went off and you're trying to get a check. The reason they call spiritual work is because it's just that, it's work. It takes energy from you. It takes that pressurized, built up energy from you and it releases it and it shoots at a target. Or if you don't know what you're doing, you're releasing it and it just causes chaos and may potentially hurt someone. So that's why we learn to ground and how to really navigate and manage, because we want every time we use that energetic bow and arrow, every time we use it, we want to make sure it hits the target that we are looking for. Be that money, love, career, whatever. Okay? So essentially we are the built up bottle of pressure and gases and everything created. Really, when you think about it, we are. We are that built up pressure, the gases, the energy. We are that built up energy just waiting to be released. And we have to use it, and you will learn through this series how to use it to your highest benefit. Now, when we use tools, which, as I said, I'll go over this in another episode. When we use tools to assist us, sometimes the relevance of it is sometimes when we first start on our spiritual paths, we don't know how to fully harness our energy or direct it. It's not as easy as speaking it into existence and visualizing it and making it manifest. Sometimes it takes us writing it down, putting it on a vision board, as I mentioned in another episode. Sometimes it takes us grabbing a wand or a stick or whatever we want to use and pointing it in a direction or at a picture of what we want. Sometimes it takes us doing things using momentum, right? Moving to gain momentum to get to where we got to get to. Just the way we hop in a car to get to our destination. Yeah, we could walk there. We could take a bike. We could go through a plane, train, or whatever it is, but we are using cars because they're convenient, get us there quickly to and from destination, right? The car is a tool to get us to where we want to get to in a timely manner. And it's the same thing when it comes to your spirituality and your spiritual path, the law of vibration, okay? You are capable of creating your own universe. You're capable of getting the results you want simply by being able to see it and manifest it and using those tools to assist. Maybe you need a tool to help harness some energy, bring it in so you get a talisman to help collect some additional energy to build up the amount of energy you need to hit your target. Maybe use healing stones after you're drained all day. You're very empathetic. You're around people all day. So you have a handful of stones, or a pocket full, or a purse full, or a bag full of stones that you can harness their energy and take that energetic pull from them so that you can restore yourself. Right? And as you get more further along your path, you use more complicated and more advanced techniques to regain that energy that is, given away to whatever have you. And understanding that with the law of vibration, understanding that everything in this universe is in a constant state of movement, and that movement is how you're perceiving your world. You also can understand the relevance of why many witches, warlocks, or spiritualists use the moon cycles and the zodiac signs where the sun sits at different times of the year to assist them in manifestation. Because it's so much easier to ride the tide when you know what the wave is going to look like, when you have an idea of how the tides are looking that day. When you have an idea of what to expect, it's easier to predict how you can move in the same direction with it to better assist you in your outcome. So, in order to stay in line with the law of vibration, paying attention to moon cycles, zodiac signs, like when the sun is in different places throughout the year, and then getting even more advanced astrology, that helps, that assists, and using your tools, tarot, healing stones, herbalism, whatever it is, that all assists in keeping you in line with the law of vibration. And by using that energy, you can create what you want. Every thought you have radiates in a certain vibration as well. Remember I said in the beginning of this, everything vibrates at its own frequency. And the only two things in this world are matter and energy. Understand, sound is energy. It's not matter. You can't see sound, but it exists. That's energy. The same thing goes for different types of frequencies. That is all energy. They're things that, ultimately make the world turn. What makes our world turn, it consists of energy. So when you put certain thoughts in motion, and when you're speaking and you are verbalizing things, you are radiating a signal, an individual signal from yourself to the universe to attract what you want. You are asking for a matching signal back. And the law of vibration is what the law of attraction is built off of. So when you put your intention out there, you are putting energy in motion. It's very real. Like, I would say everyone thinks, not everyone, but some people think, magic can't be real. You can't see it. It's some hocus pocus. You cannot see air, but you're breathing it. You can't see music, but you're listening to it and dancing to it. It's the same thing when it comes to your intentions, your thoughts, and your speech. What you put out there is going to be met. Like attracts like. That's why when you are manifesting something, it's so important for you to stay positive and not get into those darker thoughts and darker energetic patterns. Because like attracts like. So with that being said, that'll make up today's episode, because I could go on about energy molecules and everything for a good amount of time, because I've always been a nerd, even when it comes to, metaphysics. Metaphysical practices and science go hand in hand. They are like the peanut butter to the jelly, it goes hand in hand. So I could keep going, but I'm going to leave this with another test. I would like you guys to meditate. I know in the law of mentalism, I asked you guys to meditate, but I asked you to, in addition to that, visualize something. But in this situation, I want you guys to meditate, and I want you to listen to a specific music, a specific frequency. Okay? So start with some calm meditative music, something maybe with bells, some chimes, something calming. Then I want you guys to listen to frequencies, not music, just frequencies. It might be like wom, wom, wom. YouTube has 1,000. Listen to your frequencies, your binaural beats. I want you guys to listen to and explore various types of music and sound. And I want you to reflect on the way it makes your body feel. I want you to take that into your thoughts, and I want you to jot it down into you guys should be starting a grimoire by now. So jot it into your notepad or whatever you have. How do the different sounds make you feel? Again, everybody's reality is different. Someone might listen to binaural beats and that gets them to where they gotta get to, where they're at peace, they're calm, and they feel really clear. Whereas someone else, it might just irritate them and they don't like it. So explore the different types of sounds when it comes to meditation. Binaural beats, chimes, you could listen to some sirens, oohing and aahing, vocal meditation music. You could listen to words of affirmation. Listen to different sounds and find what feels right to you and write it down. Write down all the different experiences you have throughout the different sounds while meditating, and then find what's right for you. And please comment and let me know how they made you feel, what you felt. In addition to that, for my creators, I want you to create. I want you to create. I want you to paint, draw, sculpt, whatever it is, create or make something. If you've been feeling stagnant, this is your message to get out of that stagnation and create. I want you to create something, make it great, and I want you to share it. Share it with somebody who appreciates it, or you can even share it with me. My email is midnightlotus777@gmail.com. I'll be happy to see your creations. I would be happy to review your notes. Tell me how these different sounds make you feel, and tell me why you feel it made you feel that way. And we'll just go from there. So those are your tasks. And until next time, that's it. Bye.